They don't want you to know this. They'll tell you to chase, to beg, to prove yourself, to constantly hustle for validation, for love, for approval. But here's the truth. They're too afraid to say out loud. Strong men don't chase anything. Because everything, opportunity, women, respect, power, chases them. And the reason why, it's not magic. It's not luck. It's because a man who has mastered himself doesn't need to scream for attention. He doesn't need to play the clown to be seen. The world bends toward the man who stands still, grounded, solid in who he is. Think about it. Why do we stare at fire? Why do we feel the pull of mountains? Why do we freeze in awe when a lion walks, even when it isn't looking at us? Because raw, silent power doesn't ask to be noticed. It demands it. And that's the kind of man you must become. Most men spend their whole lives performing, acting, pleasing, adjusting who they are to be accepted, to be loved, to be chosen. But the truth is, when you do that, you become forgettable. You fade into the background. You become noise. Strong men are signal. They don't apologize for their presence. They don't over-explain. They don't need to prove. Because their being is proof enough. A strong man walks into a room and shifts the energy. Not because he says something, but because he is something. You can feel it in his eyes, his posture, the way he breathes, the stillness in his body. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is power under control. You don't have to scream to lead. You don't have to flex to be feared. You don't have to beg to be desired. You just have to become unshakable. And how do you do that? By mastering your emotions, by refusing to react like a boy, by learning to delay gratification, by becoming disciplined in your routines, your training, your mind. Most men lose the battle because they can't control themselves. They flinch at pressure. They fold when tempted. They explode at disrespect. That's not strength. That's weakness with a mask. A strong man is dangerous not because he lashes out, but because he can and chooses not to. Restraint is the highest form of dominance. When you can control your urges, your words, your time, you become untouchable. You stop being someone who needs from the world, and you become someone the world needs. And that's when things begin to shift. People start to listen when you speak. Doors open without you knocking. Women look at you differently, not because you're loud, but because your silence says more than their noise ever could. That's attraction. Not the cheap kind, not the fake kind that relies on games or pickup lines or manipulation. The real kind, the magnetic kind, the kind that draws people in without explanation. So what separates those men from the rest? It's not wealth, not fame, not even physical strength alone. It's presence. A strong man is fully here, not stuck in the past, not worried about the future, not addicted to distractions. He's calm in chaos, clear in confusion. He doesn't chase because he knows what's meant for him is already moving toward him. When you develop that inner gravity, the world starts to revolve around you. But here's what no one tells you. You can't fake this. You can't buy it. You can't copy it. You become it. Day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. And it's not easy. But that's what makes it valuable. A strong man isn't born. He's built through suffering, through self-denial, through lonely nights and early mornings, and the discipline to show up when no one's watching. That's the price, and most won't pay it. But if you do, if you go all the way, there's nothing you can't attract. Because you'll stop chasing what you want, and you'll start becoming what it wants. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women aren't drawn to weakness. The world doesn't admire passivity, and nobody follows a man who doesn't even follow himself. That's why you need to hear this, because it might piss you off, but it will also wake you up. You're not invisible because you're ugly, broke, or quiet. You're invisible because you're not doing anything worth noticing. You're not walking with weight. You're not living with purpose. You're not a threat to anyone's comfort zone, so nobody looks your way. Harsh? Maybe, but real. Attraction isn't about looks, it's about energy. It's about how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you move, and what you radiate without even trying. When a strong man walks in, people feel something shift. There's tension in the room, and not because he's loud, but because he's real. You want to be seen? Then stop acting like a ghost. Stop tiptoeing through life, hoping to not disturb anything. Disturb everything, challenge things, speak when it's uncomfortable. Lead even when you feel like you're not ready. Because the strong man doesn't wait until he's perfect. He steps forward anyway. He faces rejection, failure, humiliation, and he gets back up stronger every single time. That's what makes people respect him. That's what makes women gravitate toward him. That's what builds a presence people can't ignore. Let me tell you about loneliness. It's not always a bad thing. In fact, it's the gym where strong men are made. The lonely nights, the ignored messages, the days when you question if you'll ever be chosen, those are the days that separate the average from the great. Most guys run from that. They bury themselves in distractions, scrolling, gaming, porn, parties. But the strong man sits with the silence. He wrestles with it. He listens to the brutal honesty it throws at him, and he doesn't flinch. That's where you find yourself. That's where you become the kind of man who doesn't just attract others, but changes them. Don't avoid the pain. Mold it. Use it. Let it shape your discipline, fuel your workouts, sharpen your purpose. Stop begging to be loved and become the man that's too focused to even notice if they love you yet. It's time to stop asking, what do women want? And start asking, what kind of man do I want to be? Because once you answer that honestly and start living it, everything changes. You'll attract who matches your frequency, not by manipulating or pretending, but by being relentlessly real. Strong men don't chase, they attract, not because they're arrogant, but because they're so locked into their mission that anyone not aligned gets left behind. You want to be loved? Lead yourself first. And you want to be respected? Respect yourself enough to say no. You want to be seen? Then step into the world like you belong in it. Every day you sit in fear, someone else steps into their power. Every time you hesitate, someone else acts. Don't let another day pass wondering why nobody notices you. Become the man who doesn't need to be noticed. And that's exactly when they all start looking. What if everything they told you about being a man was a lie? What if the system doesn't want you to be strong, focused, or purposeful? Because a man like that can't be controlled. You weren't born weak. You were trained to be weak. Trained to sit down, stay quiet, be nice, fit in. They've buried your fire under comfort, dopamine, and distraction. But deep down, something in you is screaming, raging, to come back to life. You're not lost, you're not broken, you've just been silenced, numbered, lied to. This video is the wake-up call no one gave you. From the moment you were young, you knew. You felt that inner pressure, that feeling that you were meant for something more. But school didn't teach you how to lead. Society didn't reward strength. And now, you're stuck, scrolling, escaping, watching other men live the life you were supposed to claim. Your purpose was never gone. It was only buried. And now, it's your time to dig it back up. When a man has no purpose, he drifts. And when he drifts, he suffers. He becomes reactive, desperate, clingy, soft. He settles for attention instead of earning respect. He trades his hunger for comfort. But you weren't built to coast through life. You were built to conquer. So why do you feel so disconnected? Because you've been trying to fix an internal war with external solutions. New clothes, new phone, new girl. It all fades because deep down, you know, I'm not who I said I'd be. And that shame eats at you. But this pain, it's not your enemy. It's your signal. It's your body begging you to turn around, stand tall, and become the man you were always meant to be. A man with mission. A man with backbone. A man with focus. So strong it cuts through all the noise. You're closer than you think. See, purpose isn't found. It's built. It's forged. It's created every time you say no to distraction and yes to your higher self. Every early morning, every rep, every book, every time you stay silent instead of complaining. And that's how the man you dream of is born. He's not out there. He's inside you, waiting. You don't need permission. You don't need someone to hand you a plan. You need one thing: to stop lying to yourself, to stop pretending that the habits you've let slide, the choices you keep delaying, the time you waste, doesn't matter. It does. It all does. Your future self is already watching, and he's begging you to stop wasting time. Because the longer you wait, the more of him dies. There is no map. There is no perfect plan. But there is one rule: move, take action, lift, read, build and fail, get back up, stay consistent, stay disciplined. Discipline is your gateway drug to purpose. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your friends, not your girl, not your parents. They can support you, sure, but this is your burden, your weight to carry. That's what makes it yours. And when you carry it long enough, you stop feeling lost. You stop asking for direction. You become the direction. So ask yourself, what would the man I dream of do today? Then go do it, because he's not waiting. He's watching. He's screaming for you to rise. And once you start, you never go back.